Hello everybody, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel. I am here today to do a fun video. So my friend Tara over at Kittens, Weights and Tarot did a fun little video called the top 13 decks for Halloween, hashtag 13 Halloween. So I thought I'll join her on this one. This one's fun. Now, my challenge became what decks was I going to share with you? So I had to pare it down to 13 decks. So here I am paring it down to 13 decks. This is in no particular order, and the ones that I come out with first are not particularly my favorite. They're just 13 decks that I work with in Halloween that are very Halloween-ish. So here we go. First one that I'm sharing with you is The Everyday Witch by Deborah Blake. Now this is the little mini deck, and I have to say I wasn't quite sure how I was going to like this deck, but I really do like this deck. It is really cute. I thought it was going to be a little bit too, I don't know, glitchy for me or something. I don't know. But anyhow, I got it and I really, really like it. Now, I etched mine in some Crayola marker because kids, right? I have kids. So I'm not going to go buy special markers when I have Crayola markers. So I just use like a burnt orange on it. But this little deck is lots and lots of fun. I do enjoy this, and as a matter of fact, I kind of enjoy it so much that I'm actually considering getting the full-size deck. See, this is one of the things I love about this deck, is that there are a couple of like yoga poses and meditation poses, but the images are fun. The messages are very direct. There's no confusing what, I mean, if you know your basic tarot, there's no confusing what these messages are all about. And the fact, I don't know, I wonder if I got the larger deck, would I really enjoy it as much as I enjoy this little deck? Because I gotta tell you, I really enjoy this little deck. So look at her. Look at her. So cute. And look at, this is another one. I love this one. The Hierophant, like seriously, yes, yes. Anyhow, this is one of the decks, and this is not like a walkthrough of the deck, so I'm not going to go through every single card, just going through a few for you guys. But I really like this little deck, and this one hangs out in my purse. So as you can see, the box is kind of taking a beating, but I just ordered a pouch from Sparks Creations on Etsy, which is a Peggy bag. I ordered a Peggy bag. So I'm very excited to get that pouch and have it live in there so that way it doesn't get messed up anymore. Okay, so my next deck is the Crow Tarot by MJ Colonine. I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly, but anyhow, I really like this deck, and I don't just work with this deck during Halloween. I work with it a lot. This is a really nice deck, and again, me and my little Crayola markers, so I etched it in brown, and this deck is lovely. I love this deck. It is so good. If you don't have it, it's available on Etsy. I'm not here to sell you any decks. That's really not my intention here, but just sharing with you. And if you feel like, hey, I kind of like that, go ahead and look it up on Etsy, or I'll put some links down if I can remember to do so. But this is a really, really nice deck, and the cardstock is really good. Reasonable, and it just speaks to me. I don't know, I love crows. So yeah, oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole deck. Oops, and I'm dropping things. But anyhow, this is another deck that I use for Halloween. And my angle on this is so weird, trying to get this to record and holding cards. Let me tell you, I don't know how other people do it. I know that they must have a different device to hold their camera or their phone. I think I do have one device that will probably work, but I'm not using that one today. I'm just using my phone. So, okay, so the next deck that we're going to talk about today is, of course, the Zombie Tarot. This deck is a riot. I'm showing you the box because I think this deck is so funny and cute, and it states that it is a card deck with instructions for insight and ammunition. Don't you just love that? So this deck is by P. Keeple and Stacy Graham, and I really dig this deck. I think this deck is so funny and smart. These are the backs, and here I go with my Crayola crayons, or not crayons, but markers, etched it in green. This deck is so cheeky and so smart. I adore this deck. I know, I kind of say the same thing about all of them, right? I adore it. I love it. But yeah, seriously, I really like it. And during this time, this deck sits out on my living room table, and then whenever I feel called to just pick up a deck, it's right there for me. And if anybody comes over to visit and they feel called to go ahead and pick up a deck, well, there we go. Here's the deck that you can pick up and work with during this time, or just look at that, the Devil card. Now, isn't that smart? This deck is just, it's smart. It's a smart deck. The guidebook is good. I dig that particular card. I just love that. So anyhow, this is, again, the Zombie Tarot. And you know, this particular deck, the Zombie Tarot, I have to show you the guidebook because I even dig the guidebook, the way that it's set up. And then in the back, look at how cute. It has like these little ads like you would find in your old papers and magazines and stuff from back in the day. So that is the Zombie Tarot, which I really, really, really like. Okay, so now next is, of course, The Deviant Moon by Patrick Valenza. So this is also a deck that you can find on Amazon. And you know what? I forgot to mention the Zombie Tarot. The Zombie Tarot can also be found on Amazon and is very affordable. You can find them also at Barnes & Noble. So these are the backs, and these I edged in black. I don't think I've edged all of my decks here, but some of these I have. I like this deck. This is again is a funny deck. A lot of people may get a little disturbed by some of these images, but I think it's funny. Look at her. Look at her. She's pushing the cup over like, yeah. I don't know. This is a funny deck. It's, again, the art tells a lot, and it's a smart deck as well. A lot of these little guys have a couple of different, like a couple of extra arms or legs, or so I don't know. A lot of people get disturbed by it. I think it's a funny deck. I like it. It's quirky. Look at that one. See that? Anyhow, I like this deck. So I'm not going to go through all the images, but just to give you an idea. So again, that is the Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza. And that is the borderless edition. All right, so next is, of course, the Santa Muerte Tarot by, oh gosh, I forgot his name. And the writing is so tiny. Fabio Listreni. Oh my goodness, I can't get the pronunciation down right here. This is a very, I love this deck actually. Those are the backs. Look at the detail in that. I love this deck. Maybe because of the subject matter of it. I don't know. I like this deck. This deck, I'm very careful with the way that I work with it. I'm very respectful of this deck. And maybe to others, it just may be another deck, but to me, this deck is special. And title card is in there. I do treat it with the respect that it deserves because of the subject. So, but I love the illustrations. I love the colors. Very much like Dia de los Muertos type colors that are involved. I mean, it's all about death, the celebration of life, and the Santa Muerte. And these aces, they're all like these transformational butterflies and coming into something else. I don't know. This deck is just, it's special, and I do love it. And I do work with it during this time. So there we go. There's the backs. And again, see, I haven't edged all of them. I do need to get around to doing that on this one. So there we go. That is the Santa Muerte Tarot. And again, that can also be found as a mass market deck on Amazon or even at Barnes & Noble. I've seen it at Barnes & Noble. So I guess I'm going through most of the mass market. Most of them are mass market here. Okay. All right. Okay. So the next deck that I'm sharing with you today is the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. Now, this deck, when it first came out, everybody was really loving this deck. The backs are gorgeous. The illustrations are really pretty. Really, really pretty. I really enjoy this deck. It took me a while to commit to getting this deck. I don't know. It was just something that I just wasn't, maybe I wasn't ready for it. Maybe I just wasn't sure about it. I don't know. But anyhow, when I got it in my hands, oh, and I love this particular card. Look at that. Okay, well, for one, I have a thing with owls. So owls are special. But the illustrations in this deck, I mean, it's a deep deck. If you're getting it for like, if you want a deck to be kind of cheeky and stuff, this is not the deck. I would not go with this one if you're looking for that type of feeling from it. But it's really, really good. And again, see, another one. See, I'm missing a couple here. Haven't edged this one either. But really good for some deep work. And that is, again, the Hush Tarot. I think everybody's heard of this, right? All right. So now the next. Here's a couple of mass market decks that I like to work with during this season. And I really like this deck. All right, so this is the Crystal Skull Tarot by Jessie Driscoll And the book is by Rachel Pollack. A treasure, right? So when I saw this deck come out and I saw that Rachel Pollack wrote the guidebook, I was like, yeah, definitely. And the more that I work with this deck, the more I love this particular deck. So these are the backs. So it's just some crystal skulls, a little grid, and I edged it again with my little Crayola markers. But everything is depicted with crystal skulls. And at first, if you look at it, you might think, that doesn't tell me anything. But actually, it really does. If you look at these images, it really does depict what your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith meaning of them. I do love this deck. It is really, really good. And I love crystal skulls too. So maybe that's part of my whole crush on this deck, but it's really, really good. I don't know, I don't hear too much about this deck, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know. I think a lot of people also are afraid of crystal skulls, but crystal skulls hold wisdom. There's a whole thing on crystal. That's a whole other video, so I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole other video. But anyways, that is another deck that I use during this season, and I do really enjoy that deck. So that is the Crystal Skull Tarot. All right, so next is the Marigold Tarot. And I don't want to mess up her name. Amrit Bar. This is such a nice desk. Now, this is not available on mass market. This is available directly through her website. So if you look her up, you will find, if you just search the Marigold Tarot. So now these are the backs, and this deck, oh my goodness, this deck is, I love this deck. Now I got the one with the black borders. It comes like this. You can get it in gold or you can get it in black. I preferred it in the black. So this deck is a tarot deck rooted in life, death, and gold. How appropriate is that? So this is not by any means like rooted in Mexican or Hispanic type, you know, like Dia de los Muertos. But, you know, marigolds are very special to us for Dia de los Muertos, which is not Halloween. Let's not get confused. Dia de los Muertos is not Halloween. Okay, but I love working with this deck. Again, a lot of skulls. And I love that wisdom that comes through, that ancestral medicine that speaks through this deck and during this time especially. Look at the Five of Cups. Isn't that awesome? I really, really like this deck. And, but again, I am, like, I don't pull it out all the time. I am a little bit more selective as to when I work with this particular deck. The guidebook, you can buy the guidebook separately from the deck, but she does have a PDF available online, so you can always do that. Okay, so now let's go on to Oracle. So this is the Urban Crow Oracle. This is not mass market. You can go to her site. So if you just search Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Colmine, you can find it. And she has a few other decks on there as well. But this is another one. And I don't just work with this one during Halloween time. This is a deck that gets much use. Even though, see, look at, I haven't edged this one either. This is a really, really good deck. It goes with so many of my other decks. I always pair my Oracle and my Tarot decks. And I like this deck a lot. It's really, really, really good. And it's a deep deck. I like it. I guess I like deep stuff. Oh, look at that. Look at the colors in that and protection. It's a deep deck. I do like it. And again, this is one of them too that I kind of, oh, there's a little shout out to her little dog deck. This is another one that I kind of held off on when she released it to begin with. I thought, oh, I don't know. There's another one of her little dogs in there from her little dog deck. But I did finally break down and order it. I don't know if she has a cat deck. I'm not sure. But when I got it, I was like, wow, this is really good. So again, oh, look at that one. I love that one. It's so good, Bond. This is another one that gets used quite a bit, and not just during Halloween, but very good deck for Halloween. Or this season, not specifically Halloween, but this season, this time, right? With the energies that we have among us right now. So anyhow, okay, next deck is the Santa Muerte Oracle. Now this deck you can obtain on Amazon as well. And it does go along, of course. You know, you can work side by side with the Santa Muerte tarot. I don't use it like that. You know what? Quite honestly, this is a really cool deck as well. I mean, look at the art in this. This is so colorful. But I use this with other decks. I like to, like I said, I like to pair my decks. Sometimes I use it as just a little, like, there's a little too much going on sometimes when I pair those up. For me. Other people might think differently about it. I don't know. But anyhow. And you know what, quite honestly, what works for me one day could be entirely different the next day. Just putting it out there. So anyways, that is the Santa Muerte Oracle. And again, you can find that on Amazon. All right, so here we go. Seasons of the Wish. The Wish. Oh my goodness. Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain Oracle. And this is by Lorraine Anderson, Juliet Diaz. But you know what? I really love that they gave, like, illustrated by Giada Rose right down at the bottom. Like, that's what you see right down at the bottom. I appreciate that because too many times creators do not give props to the artist. That this is where you really connect with the deck, I think, for the most part, is within the art. This is a beautiful deck. I really enjoy this deck. She just put out the Yule deck as well. Again, another great deck. I really like this deck. And this deck doesn't have to just come out at Halloween. This is a really good and a great deck for connection, great messages. And what I like about this is that you don't even have to pull the guidebook because there's enough to go by right here on the deck. As you can see, there's just a little blurb there, little condensed message about the meaning of that particular card. And look at how fancy that is. I mean, for a mass market deck, the production of this is so good. And that bling on there. I'm pretty careful with my decks. I don't really, I don't do that fancy casino style shuffle because I don't know how. That's what it comes down to. I just don't know how. So I tried learning. One of our sons came over and was trying to show me how, and I did it kind of, but not well. So, so a lot of my decks don't get chipped, where people who are doing more of those type of shuffling, you know, might find a little bit more use on it. I just do overhand for the most part. So here we go. Next one is the Halloween Oracle. This is such a cool deck. This is by Stacy DeMarco. This is a cool deck. And this one, I would, you know, I've thought about, oh, I'm sorry, the backs. Okay, the backs kind of, I don't know. A lot of people may really like the backs. They're really not something that call to me so much. But the deck itself, I really, really like. And this one, with the exception of a couple cards, could pretty much be used throughout the year. I love this particular card right here. This one. Oh, seriously. But this one could be used pretty much throughout the year. And I think I've heard that some people just take out, see, like the vampire one. Like, I don't know about that. That one is so cool. I love that one too. But I think I've heard, see, I got off track. Did you see that? Did you see how quickly I got off track? Anywho, oh, look at, I've heard, I'm going to stay on track. I've heard that some people just take out some of the cards and then they just kind of work with it throughout the year. I don't know. I haven't done that. I just kind of leave it together, and then I just kind of bring it out for Halloween. And this particular deck, again, was another one that I needed some convincing on. And my friend Carol, she had this deck, and so I looked at it. I think I looked at it either at her house or I was actually I think this was at the end of a Reiki. I was teaching her Reiki, and she shared this deck with me at the end, and it was by Zoom, and that's when I decided to get the deck. And I got it in, and I am happy. I do like the deck. Okay, last deck. Okay, so this is not a mass market deck, and I think I thought, listen, I think I thought, okay, that's not even, I don't think that's even, that should not even go together. Okay, so this is the Enchanted Bruja Oracle. I really like this deck. This is the second edition, and I think that there was going to be a third edition. I want to say that I heard that somewhere, but I'm not quite sure. I found this on Etsy, and of course I etched it in black Crayola marker. Look at me going all big time there. Okay, so these are the backs. Very pretty. I like them. And then the front, I mean, these cards, I really like these cards. I say that about all of them, huh? I really like them, but I guess I wouldn't have them in my collection if I didn't really like them, right? I get rid of it. Actually, I have like a bunch of cards that are, or decks that are off to the side that I just don't work with. So, but these I really like. Oh, there we go. This is a really good deck, and the guidebook is short and sweet. Let me just show you real quick. It's just one of these little fold out, short and sweet, but gets to the point of the message and gives you enough to think on and go on. And it does have a little keyword at the bottom. This is a really, really nice deck. I really like this deck. This is something that will never leave my collection or my library. I don't know. Tarot collection sounds like I'm a hoarder, but I'm not. I'm really not. I just like to get the things that I like. That's it. Anywho, this is the Enchanted Bruja Oracle. And why am I forgetting her name? Written and drawn by Alexandria Bunch. There we go. So that's it. That is it, guys. These are my top 13 decks for Halloween. And I'm not going to be able to get these all in here, but I'm just putting some up here for you just to kind of overwhelm you. For no other reason. I have no other reason. I don't know what else to say. But this is it, guys. My top 13 decks for Halloween. All right. I think I got them all there. There's the 13. Okay, wait. One more thing. Okay. This is not by any means, shape, or form one of my top decks. I bought this because I was curious. I went into, this is an honorable mention because this is over the 13. And I just brought it out because I thought, okay, I don't know. Okay. So if you ever go into Spirit Halloween store, they have this little deck and it's really inexpensive. I can't remember how much it was, but it's a cheap deck. And yeah, it is a cheap deck. I mean, card stock is not good. Those are the backs. But a lot of people, I don't connect with this at all. But I was thinking of doing something with this deck. And as you can see, it's still in order because I looked through it. And there's a few images in here that I really do like. That one, that's just, I don't know. Yeah, this deck is not... This is not one of my top 13 decks. I'm just showing you because I know that this one gets photographed a lot. So it's good for photography because the colors are pretty cool. Like that one's pretty cool, right? But yeah, not a deck that I like. But I just thought I'd share it with you. But anyways, I have a project in mind for this particular deck, which has nothing to do with tarot. So, just thought I'd throw that in there for you guys. So, that is it, guys. Thank you so very much for hanging around and hearing me go on and talk about my tarot and my oracle decks. Top 13 for Halloween. Again, a VR to my beautiful friend Tara at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and hashtag 13 Halloween. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Halloween season, and much love to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.